According to fitness content, there's only one way to be healthy. You need to lift heavy, eat in a calorie deficit, work out 5 times a week, and walk 10,000 steps a day. If you're not doing that, then you're simply not doing enough. It seems like everyone is sharing the same recipe on how to be healthier, but when you keep seeing the same thing repetitively, it makes it seem as though there's only one way to be healthy. The issue is that everyone's lives look different. Everyone has different goals, everyone has different priorities, and everybody looks different. I have a degree in kinesiology and I'm 5 years into my fitness journey, so I know a thing or two about changing your lifestyle habits and the ups and downs that come with it. And today I really just wanted to talk about how fitness content sells this very idealistic view of health and how that can be harmful to anyone who doesn't have 3 hours a day to dedicate on fitness. I'm such a big consumer of fitness content. I really enjoy anything that just involves moving my body, and I do also post fitness content. So I feel like I can see both sides of things. As soon as I open my Instagram, most of the things I'm seeing is something related to fitness. It's things like what I eat in a day, my workout split, the workout of the day, a glute workout, things around that realm. And I'm assuming that if you clicked on this video, then you are probably also someone who's on that side of the internet. I completely understand that the reason why I see these things is because that's what I consume, and so my algorithm is just showing me what I like to see. But if you're also a part of the online fitness community, then you'll know that these trends are actually quite popular. It's kind of the thing that gets a lot of clicks. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it's what seems to work for everyone making fitness content right now. That's what people are looking for. And so I think that's why we keep seeing the same things again and again and again. So the types of videos I'm seeing are all about hypertrophy training, maybe being in a calorie deficit or being in a surplus, everything about protein. We know protein is big these days. Fiber is now working its way into the conversation, which is great because a balanced diet, beautiful. I see a lot of 4 to 5 day workout split, walking 10,000 steps, which if I'm being very honest, I don't know what the science is behind the whole 10,000 steps thing. I really want to do a video where I research it and then come back to you guys with explanation as to why everybody's crazy about 10,000 steps. So let me know if you're interested in that. I also see a lot of Pilates, like reformer Pilates, mat yoga, so many things that just look cute and so aesthetic. And I would be lying if I told you that I wasn't a part of some of these trends or that I haven't tried some of these things. I definitely have. I'm currently doing a body recomposition, so I'm on a slight calorie deficit. I've tried hot yoga. I love it. And this video is not to demonize any of those things, but rather to challenge how realistic some of these goals and expectations and, you know, just all of these things that we see online, like how realistic are they to the day-to-day person who has a 9 to 5, who has a child, who maybe is working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, like, you know what I mean? Everybody's situation looks different. For the simple fact that fitness influencing is a job now, a lot of people can maybe start out just showing what their workouts are, and then, you know, you can blow up and build a whole career in that. And I love that. But it also makes it so that the people sharing their fitness journeys are kind of in this space, which is honestly very unorthodox, where their job is their social media. And so you have a lot of time in the day to work on those things, to go to your Pilates, go to your workout every single day consistently, because at some point that's your job, right? I'm also trying to build my own community, so to some extent I understand why this type of content gets so much engagement and so many views and, you know, things like that. Another reason why I say I kind of see both sides of the spectrum is because I'm currently not working, which means that I have so much time to go to the gym. That's all I do. But when I was working a 9 to 5, it used to take so much mental strength and just like, I can't even call it motivation because I didn't have the motivation. Maybe just like discipline and just an assortment of things, so many things to get me up and get me into the gym when I was working. I would work some days 12 to 8, I would work 9 to 5. Like my schedule was so inconsistent that it was difficult to plan a workout sometimes. Like I would only make it to the gym sometimes twice a week, and you know, that's what I could do at that point. So that's just what I did. But now that I have so much time, of course I can go 4 to 5 times a week if I want to, which is really not the reality of a lot of people. So because I'm experiencing both sides of the spectrum, I really just wanted to add my 2 cents into this conversation that I actually have no idea if anyone is having, but hopefully we are the first ones to have it, and you can let me know what you think in the comments. And I really just want to reiterate the fact that I don't have a problem with fitness content at all. My issue is with the lack of balance and representation that we see throughout the fitness community. And an even bigger issue is that it's created such a rigid image of what fitness or being healthy looks like. I know how difficult it can be to prioritize exercise and working out, or even going for a 30-minute walk, so I can't even imagine how much more difficult it will be when I get older, when I probably have a family. For people who have kids, for people who are juggling multiple jobs, kids, a household on top of that, there's just so many things that life will throw at you that will take priority at some point. And so the picture that social media paints about fitness can easily make you feel like you're not doing enough when you're seeing people who work out 4 to 5 times a week who are telling you to take 10,000 steps, except it takes at least an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours for you to walk 10,000 steps, and that's on top of an hour or hour and 30-minute workout that you would be doing in the gym. On top of that, we also see the same types of bodies online all the time. It's either thin or thick and muscular and lean, and the small waist big butt ratio, or like just being thin. Really, beauty standards in general are kind of always shifting, but this idealistic picture of what it looks like to be healthy, we tend to get these from outside sources. So from everything that we see in the media, these are the things that tend to be shoved down our throats. The one person that I can really just think of that made me realize that skinny is back in was Ariana Grande, and I was just like, this is not about that. But anyway, I weigh around 160 to 170 pounds. 160 to 170 pounds looks completely different depending on the body and your proportions and just the way your weight is distributed. And I know that coming to a place where you're finally able to not compare yourself to the people that you see online is really difficult. I struggle with that now. I'm sure you probably struggle with it at certain points, but it's really the only thing that we can do in order to just be happy. And this might be wishful thinking, but I think that it would be so refreshing to see normal people with normal lives navigating fitness and health, just to see how they handle, the demands of their life plus balancing those things. And I know that there are people out there sharing their journeys in that way, although a lot of them are probably just busy living their lives because they don't have time to make content. But I think that would be so refreshing. But one thing I've realized is that a lot of these algorithms or social media as a whole, sometimes it really doesn't reward realistic or authentic people and their journeys, because sometimes it can look so mundane. But I definitely think it will kind of help balance out all the aesthetic things that we see versus seeing a more realistic approach to these things. A few things that I do in order for me not to fall into this trap of believing that health and fitness look exactly the same is, number one, by following people who don't promote extremes when it comes to eating, working out, living life, anything like that. I like creators who have a little bit of nuance to them, like they show the ups and the downs, and you don't actually have to show me your downs, but I appreciate someone who's able to speak about them. I found that smaller creators are the cheat code to this. I will leave a few of my faves on the screen at the moment. The one person that I can think of at the top of my head who I am consistently watching is Talia Joelle. She's one of the bigger names that are part of my current faves, but yeah, love her. And part of the reasons that I love her is because I see a bit of myself in her, so there's a lot of things that we can relate to. So I like to watch people that I can relate to. Another thing is watching people who are certified. And if you're going online to get any kind of fitness, health information, go watch people who know what they're talking about and who are not just basing their advice on their experience, because their experience might be theirs and I don't want to take away from that, but we all have different lives. Their experience is not going to look the same as yours, right? So find people who are certified, or make sure that you inform yourself when you do see these videos and stuff. And I know it's hard, like who's going to scroll on TikTok, see a routine and then go search it up? But when we talk about bigger life changes and we want to understand a calorie deficit versus like a surplus, those are things that I feel like you need to dig a little bit deeper about. I think there's a lot of information already available on TikTok with people who explain it really well, but all I'm saying is that look deeper into the things that you want to commit to. And lastly, which I kind of mentioned as well, is like just I watch people whose stories I connect with, and I feel like that's changed a lot. It's just so easy to watch someone on a screen and watch that, I don't know, 10 to like 60-second video and then move on. Part of the reason why I love YouTube is because you're really able to see who people are, what their personalities are. Obviously to an extent you find out who people are, but it's just more long form. It feels like there's a bit more of a connection there than in short form. And so yeah, those are a few things that I do, and I think the most important one is just giving yourself grace and understanding that life comes in so many different phases. At this point in your life, maybe you're not able to give 4 to 5 days to the gym. Maybe you're only able to do 2, and that is perfectly okay. I don't know, maybe you're only able to do at-home workouts with like a 5-pound dumbbell. Do that. It's better than nothing. Or let's say you have kids at home. Maybe you're done working and the last thing you want to do is go to the gym. Get them and go on a walk. Do a little 30-minute walk. Do a 15-minute walk. Those are little things that you can do to just keep your body moving. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to move your body. It's to live less of a sedentary life. We sit a lot. We work a lot. So the goal is to make sure that you have blocks in your day where you are moving around. Okay, because you want 50-year-old you to be able to go up the stairs and maybe not be out of breath. And so that you can also put your luggage in the overhead bin when you're traveling. You know what I mean? That's what exercise and movement is about. It's so that you're able to do these things when you're older. Yes, it's great for the aesthetics and we all want to look good, but at the end of the day, I know at some point some of us are going to need hip replacements, and you don't want a hip replacement. You want to keep your hips. So exercise to preserve your body so that it continues to work for you and do all these beautiful things that it's able to do. Another thing I wanted to mention is that if you need professional help or coaching, or you need to see a personal trainer, just to talk to someone who is certified and, someone who will help you implement exercise into your days, into the way your life is structured right now, then do that. If that's something that you want to prioritize, then invest in that. It's something that is honestly going to improve your quality of life. I just want us all to focus less on making our fitness goals aligned with a stranger who you follow online, and instead with how your life is set up. Be realistic and honest with yourself about how much you can give to it, and set those little goals for yourself, because a little is way better than nothing, and you can easily build up as time goes on, as you start to implement things slowly. So that's my little yap session for the day. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you're also going to enjoy this one here. I talk about all the things you can't convince me of as a gym girl. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye.